Sometimes we get so caught up in the profession or the environment that's meant to cultivate us truly, who we are at our core. We get caught up in that phase of our life thinking that that's our forever. I was the same way with the military. When I got in, I was good at what I did. I love what the Army stood for. So I saw myself being there until I retired. But life had different, plans for me. And because of the injury, that career was pulled away from me. But what I came to understand was that, the parts of me that made me good in the military was still there. So I just see it as like changing clothes almost. Me as Miles McConaughey still remains even if I change this hoodie or this shirt. So, football sometimes is our outfit of the day. You know what I mean? But you still are who you are. So you were thriving in football because that was already a part of you. It may have helped bring it out more, but when you understand that those talents, that mentality, that drive, that ambition is still in you, and you understand that truly that you can have that outside of that outfit, then it just broadens your entire perspective of life, because now you say, well, dang, I can really go out here and do anything, really.
Welcome, world. Welcome, family, to another episode of the EL2A podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore. Before I go any further, I know y'all see what I got on, right? So I got the special edition, limited edition, cut different t-shirts, all right? So we're going to put the link down there in the bio in the description for you to go cop one, all right? They are going fast. I need you to make sure you're getting them, all right? You're not going to find this anywhere. This is some exclusive material, all right? So only the finest for the finest of our fans and for our supporters, all right? So make sure you're getting it, make sure you're supporting it, all right? So let's get to it. To the right of me, I got my brother, the main man, Mr. Military Man, Mr. Miles McConaughey. How you feeling today, brother?
Doing pretty good.
And good. To the right of him, we got the Rocket, the highest of 7 hills, Mr. Eddie Rockers. How you feeling today, brother? Pretty good. Good. All right, man. And we got a special guest. All right, we got Mr. KJ Kinsler, Mr. Hitman to the right of him. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you for being here. All right, so y'all know we having this stick. We've been having, athletes on here. This is a special athlete. He come from the Wright High School, North Marion High School graduate right here. But we're going to get a little further into who KJ is, man. I'm very excited to talk to this young man. He's a friend of my little brother, so I've been able to see him move and see who he is. So just to, watch you and see you. Proud of who you are, young man, and let's get into it. All right, so you're the Hitman. All right, where does that come from? Where does that name Hitman come from?
It came from, the alum at Alcorn gave it to me after, I think we played Alabama State in a 5 overtime game. Had like 12 tackles, I went through the tailgate and it was like Hitman.
Oh,
man,
it stuck. Yeah. So what year was this?
This was 2018, my freshman year.
Freshman. So you got that name, freshman year. That's respect. So the alumni of the university, your freshman year, attached Hitman to you. That's big time. So there must have been respect. So what you were doing in that game that gave you Hitman? You were
flying around.
Like,
came off the bench.
So you weren't starting. So you say you came off the bench. You wasn't starting.
Wasn't starting.
So would somebody get injured, or how did you get to start playing that game?
We rotate.
Okay.
Come in about the 5th series, and I was playing so good they couldn't pull me out.
Yeah. Made a name for yourself. I love that. All right, so what I know of you and what I've heard of you, so I did my research on you too, asking questions about you. So I always seen you always being like a calm and collecting dude, seem like you, kind of like soft-spoken, keep to yourself a little bit. So for you to be that person off the field, but then get the name Hitman on the field, how does that work? Now, how are you able to be, like, what happens when you go on the field?
It's just that mode, you hear them chin straps click. There it is. Like that light switch.
Yeah. So when you say that light switch, put me in your helmet. When you're in your helmet and you playing ball, because again, you're a safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's different probably safeties. Some safeties maybe think about, I'm trying to go get the ball. Mm-hmm. To get the name Hitman, don't sound like you think about blood. So what you thinking about when you put the helmet on?
Out there, it's kill or be killed. It's a gladiator sport.
Yeah.
And the football field got no room for the soft-spoken guy that I am outside of it.
Yeah.
I gotta turn into that beast.
Yeah.
The whistle blow.
I love that. So describe yourselves as a competitor.
I'm the most competitive.
Yeah.
Madden, 2K. I want to be the best.
and everything I do. I don't want to be pushed around. Don't take the kind-hearted guy, as a joke. And
Yeah.
I'm about business all the time.
Where do you think that comes from? Where do your competitive edge come from?
I think it comes from video games. Hanging with the boys. You don't want your boys to get the ups on you in video games. And, I play Ja all the time, Matt. I'm not. There's no room for like freeness. Give it to you every time we play.
Yeah. I love that.
We call it a feel.
Yeah, get a feel for sure. You gotta get a feel. So going into this, I want to get to obviously, you're an athlete. Where did that start? Where you think about with the KJ the kid? Where did it all start? Where did the dream? So for myself, I had an older brother. We just come from a football family. I see him playing football. I looked up to my brother, and I wanted to do what he was doing. He played football. I played football. Maybe if he was selling drugs, I might would have went and sold drugs. I don't know. But for yourself, where did your love for the game come from?
Well, originally I'm from Gainesville. So 2006, the Gators won the national championship. And that was like my motivating factor to play football. And that year I started playing Pop Warner for the Baby Gators in Gainesville. So that was the start of it.
So when did you So because you played high school here, did you transition here a high school or when you
transitioned out here in 8th grade?
Okay.
So I played senior coach with Coach Ken.
What was that? So he played senior coach. So that's kind of, so it's funny. We had people on here. Sean came on and he shared stories about Coach Ken and what he meant to him in his life. He had experience with Coach Ken. What was your experience playing seeing Coach?
He was a player's coach. He was hard on you, but he was loving at the same time. And I think he created like a real gritty environment in practice because it was always competing. It was always banging under the chutes, and that was my introduction to North Marion per se.
For sure. And when you say that, my introduction to North Marion, how would you describe? You got the shirt on right now, so North Marion has to mean something to you. Still to this day. So if you had to describe North Marion, when you say that introduction to North Marion, how can you describe North Marion to our viewers?
I would say that North Marion it's a blue collar situation. Weight room rusty, weights rusted, the gym not the best. The equipment not the best, but every day we going to work.
Yeah,
that's what it is. We go in the dungeon, the weight room, it's work. All it is.
Yeah, and it's funny. So coming through our time, we came under Coach Collins, and I know you know Coach Collins and you know who he was. So it's important. So throughout your journey, I'm pretty sure you had a plethora of coaches that were there to help you. So we're talking about Coach Ken, introduce you. Now you're up in North Marion. You got lights of Coach Collins. When you got there, who was the head coach when you first got there?
Coach Fields.
Fields was there. And then so he ended up leaving. So I know y'all ended. I don't know y'all first, but I know the last couple of years, it was it got kind of rough up there. You was a part of the team that had the young man that left and went to Bellevue. That happened like your senior year.
Yeah.
So during that transition, when y'all in that losing phase again, what was motivating you about the game? Because during that time, you can be like, man, I ain't trying to do this, and some do. What was motivating you to just keep going during those times?
Well, yeah, that 18 class, like you said, they went to Bellevue. All my homeboys went to Bellevue. It was like a left me for dead situation.
Yeah.
But I'm not a follower. My dad taught me that young age. But my motivating factor was I got young guys under me. I was the only guy that signed to go to college at 18. I think that was like the first time in North Marion, one grade to sign. So, I had guys like Ja, like on his pod, he said like, that was his first year playing varsity. So I had to be back there for them. We playing 9 underclassmen, and I'm like the only senior playing defense, So that was pretty much my motivating factor. Like I'm gonna stick it out with them because I'm gonna show like the grass not always greener on the other side. The work can get done here. Like you can make it out of here.
How you feel about, so I kind of heard what you said and you shifted from it. So that feeling, I guess when them guys left, how did that leave you feeling when you say, all my boys left? So it was like a personal, my boys left. How did that make you feel?
It was bittersweet, but at the end of the day, you build relationships with other people. Those were the guys I came in with. We played freshman together. I played varsity my freshman year, but we were all boys, So it hurt a little bit, but, had to move on. I had to show the younger guys, like, it was okay that they left. Like, we all we got, we all we need.
Yeah. And when did having that leadership role? So as far as like everything you're saying, because all I hear is mentorship. All I hear is what you're doing now as far as coaching. So at that age, you were doing that. You knew, okay, I got people up under me. a lot of people don't think about that. People think about they're selfish. They think about themselves. So I'm going to go do what's best for me. But in that time, you were able to see, okay, I got some little people under me. What did that do for you? How did that help you grow, being there for them?
I think it's like you had to always show up, you know, because you had people relying on you. So I had to always be 110% into it. You know, every game I had to be, shoot, I'm the first person out, you know, I had to be that guy, you know. Yeah, pretty much. You know, I'm most of it is just doing stuff that I wish people did for me, you know. When that class left in 16, that big class, the 16 guys who signed, you know, I wish they came back and, you know, kind of helped out a little bit more. Yeah. But, you know, I made it a statement like I was going to do that for my guys, you know.
Now, that's so. One thing, if jealous of any extent of people at North Marion, it was you had a feel of it, and John came into it, and I was having Coach O. Okay, so you had a professional, you had a guy that been there, played at the highest, played at the SEC level, and then he went up to the NFL. I knew who my head coach when I was there, and I came around when y'all was playing ball, and I seen the difference. And it speaks for itself as far as the team he took to state, because we had way more talented teams come through North Marion, but it was something different about that team. Not taken away from the players, but it was something different about that team. I would like to think he had a lot to do with it. So talk about Coach O. You know, how did Coach O help you? What do you think about Coach O as a coach?
You know, I think Coach O he's one of the greatest men I ever met. Yeah. You know, I think my senior year was it was like maybe a 50% of bought in, like between the team. But that team that went to state was 100% bought in on what he was preaching. You know, it was the war of attrition. Like, we're going to wear people down. We're going to be gritty, and we're going to compete. We're going to fly around. We're going to punch the ball out, you know. And I feel like that's why, you know, the younger guys pretty much respect me a lot, because I embodied what Coach O was trying to teach them. Yeah. And I went out there and showed them, and the next year they followed suit, and they went all the way with it.
So that player that you just described or what he was trying to say, that sounded like Hitman. So you think Hitman had a lot to do with Coach O?
Yeah, he was definitely the perfect fit for me. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. So Coach O, even thinking about, you know, so because I always think about that. And it's funny. One time, me and Jai, we was obviously so the heights that they reached, being the only team to go to state. Obviously, you could say they're the best team. They are, because they're the best team, because nobody ever done that. But one day, Coach Collar was basically on his deathbed. I don't know if Jai ever shared this with you. He's basically on his deathbed. And we were talking about it because it's always funny. And we were talking about, like, who was better, either my class 2012 or Jai, I think 2016, was I 18, whatever Jai graduated. I don't know. But anywho, and Coach Collar was laying on the bed, and he literally looked over like that. He really can't even talk. He said, Jai, can't do nothing with them. y'all can't do nothing with them. And so going back to Coach O, it just made me think. So that lets me know, again, that culture, how important culture is. And you just said the shift when you came, guys weren't bought in, and then the culture that he brought, it was a more bought in culture, is what you're saying. So how did you think? What went into him layering that culture? How did he build that culture?
I think it was a little things. It was you know, Jai class, I was the older guy. You know, I had the car, you know, Jai them couldn't drive. You know, I go pick them up and stuff, you know. He bought a game system in the locker room. It was constant competition all the time. And then outside of football, it was a brotherhood, you know. It was a tight-knit group, you know. I'm going to do whatever for my brother off the field, and on the field, I'm going to sell out for my brother. You know.
So when you start, so for me, I always tell my story. So as far as going to college and playing professional, always was a dream. I got my first college offer in 10th grade. So it's like I always knew I was going to school. It just mattered where. For you, when it started becoming real, like, okay, I'm going. So where did you start getting your looks? And when, like, what was you start getting that interest in school?
I got my first offer that spring going into my senior year.
Okay.
I got a Mercer offer.
Mercer. And so coming out, were you highly recruited coming out, or how was that?
I wasn't sought after much. You know, I had Mercer, Sanford. I had some other schools in the SoCon looking at me, and then I had Alcorn.
Okay. And so where does that come from? I think this is a very educational moment, all right? So because most kids, they want to have the bio with the offer. I got an offer from here. They put up the picture of the school and then a picture of a couple of the guys with the whatever. It's a cool thing they do these days. First of all, what do you think about that in the landscape of because we're in a different world right now? When you were coming back, do you think, obviously you wanted the scholarship looks. Well, obviously, you only can go to one school.
Right.
First of all, I want you, before you go there, I want you to answer what you think hindered you, because you're great. Obviously, you're great. You went to college and would excel.
Mhm.
What hindered you from getting those looks?
I think it was my stature. You know, I don't think I fitted that mold of when P5 schools came in there. Like, he a P5 guy. Like, yeah, I don't think I looked the part.
Yeah.
You know, I was probably like 5'10", 160 something. But I played how I played. Right. I'm a thumper. But you know, I didn't pass the eye test early.
Yeah. So what would you change? I guess, like, if you can go back into that time, like, what do you think you could have done differently yourself?
I would have did them 100 push-ups every night, like Coach Kinsler said.
Yo, that's Pookie to the devil, boy. That 100 push-ups a night for sure. So 100 push-ups, what else?
I think I would have. I would say attack the weight room more, but it's not. You know, it's little things like taking the creatine and stuff like that, just to make you, you know, stand out more.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, God gave me this stature and gave me this build, so you know, it wasn't really much change I could have really made.
Yeah. All right, so so obviously you went to Alcorn and you did great things there. Okay, you get established.
They don't jump on you. Alcorn,
I'm sorry, always. So but I'm pretty sure people mess it up like that all the time.
Always.
Alcorn, what? He told me they gonna jump on you. All right, that's a big day. I'm sorry, y'all. Please don't jump on us. But so you did transition up. So how was that transition going from high school to going there, leaving home and going out there to play ball? How was that transition for you?
It wasn't nothing really too crazy, because Alcorn it's in Mississippi. It's a small knit community. The biggest thing was, you know, Walmart being 45 minutes each direction, you know, and then they had the little towns with the dollar stores and stuff. But you know, I was always content with being alone and being on my own. So I was really fine up there.
So you that's how you handled it. So as far as being alone, you live by yourself and stuff like that? Or
you know, we had the dorm rooms, we got roommates and stuff, you know, we make relationships there, but I would sit in there and chill.
Yeah. And it's funny, so I can relate to that small school environment. So I went to Temple, Philly, and then I did 1 year up in Illinois, Macomb, Illinois, small town, pretty sure just like this. But just nothing to do. But I was older at that time. I'm at this time I'm already 22, so I'm on that. I'm just chilling. At 18 though, how were you able to grasp the concept of it ain't nothing to do here? Like, I just gotta play the game and play football. How did you do that?
I think I always been quiet by myself to myself, but I got a good group of guys that I met up there. Yeah. You know, that class that came in, we were real tight. You know, like we everywhere. You know, nobody had cars up there really. Walk everywhere. 12, 15 of us freshmen, walk everywhere, tight-knit group. So it was like, I found my brothers early there, and that really helped me out.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm on the outside looking in. It's probably better for this man to talk to it, because he went to FAMU. But there's a stigma when it comes to HBCUs, all right? As far as financial, you ain't gonna get your money on time, or just the resources that are there. So as an athlete, you know, do you feel that school gave you what you needed to be the best hitman that you can be from day in to day out?
I think they did their best. I think it's more so, you know, it is what you make it, you know. How much work you put in at Alcorn is what you're going to get out of Alcorn, you know. And the relationships you build there is what you're going to, everlasting impression on people is what's going to, you know, lead you to places. So, you know, it's the same thing as North Marion. It feels messed up. You know, probably the locker room's busted. Yeah. The best part of the school, probably the weight room. Yeah. You know, but, you know, we made most of what we had.
You got those memories right there. FAMU today, it wasn't like that when I was there, man. It was, I mean, not that it wasn't bad, especially coming from North Marion, man. That's what we used to, things like that. But I guess, and you know, the stigma as far as like, do I think they could have, you know, offered anything? Well, I actually agree. I mean, you had to make it what it was, but then dealing with coaches such as Coach Collins and the other coaches that surrounded us, you know, they taught us how to, you know, survive in those type of moments, if that makes sense, especially on the field, off the field. Coach Collins was peanut butter sandwiches, you know, making sure that he was telling, you know, he told all the players, you know, what type of protein that we needed, what things that we need, push-ups, we need 100 push-ups, you know. So I think the stigma was what it was, but you still commit, we made what was best out of that situation. Not a financial aid thing. Oh my God.
Get your, I'll get your buddy.
Man, I had a situation, real talk. I remember I had to call my girlfriend at the time. I had to call her once and to help pay the rent. Because financial aid didn't come through. Like, I promise. And then there was a time where I had to call my mom, like, well, I don't know what to do. I know I had my stuff set up, but the financial aid ain't reached. Like, it wasn't my fault. It was their fault.
Yeah.
So when it came to, things such as that, that was the only thing that I feel like hindered me in any way. But I mean, you still made the best of it.
Yeah, for y'all too. I kind of want to ask y'all so for me, I went to a PWI, predominantly white institution. Sometimes I did like, man, I wish I would have went to HBCU. I wish just the experience of being at HBCU and being around your people. I want to get, so how was your experience out of HBCU, and would you change it? Would you rather have went to a different institution?
Not at all. I feel like them probably some of the best years of my life, to be honest. Everybody gonna talk about the parties and stuff, but walking through the tailgate and being embraced by people of your own race, and shoot, we going after games, they giving us plates of ribs, pans of ribs. You got old heads offering you moonshine and stuff. Like, it was just good times, like, all the time.
Yeah.
And it was such a small-knit community. Everybody knew everybody, It wasn't really much drama going on. It was just people just existing, coexisting out there, and it was a good space to be in.
Yeah. I say for me, I say now, I just wish, because going to North Marion, I mean, we were surrounded by our people, so to speak. We grew up with these people. So for me, when I went to FAM, it was one of those things where I felt like I fit. I just felt like I was home. So that aspect of it, it was easy to adjust from a small town to go to a bigger town with so many things to do. I was cool on that part. But then I believe what hindered me was only being surrounded or being comfortable with our people, with that African American race. Like, I feel like that was one of the things that when I got into the corporate side of things, it was kind of like, man, it was hard for me to, hey, man, I'm not used to this, Right. So I had to embrace that, and that's something that I think by going to PWI would have made life for me easier as far as when I elevated within like the corporate side of things. Damn. Would I change it? I'm gonna talk about the party thing, hands down. Some of the best memories, in my life. But definitely the relationships that was built. I mean, I got a white male friend, Cecil Wallace. I'll never forget. I met Cecil. We went to elementary school together, so that's my brother to this day. I met another friend through him, and we still cool to this day. But it was a brotherhood that was made, with the boys that I went to school with. So I wouldn't change it. So yeah, I feel like that experience was good.
Yeah, to this point though, and that's a great point that you brought up. So do you feel that same way, I guess, after leaving there, that you felt prepared if you probably haven't got into like a corporate side yet, but just being outside of that environment, do you feel like they prepared you enough to be able to be in a predominantly white environment, or will they send you in a shock?
Well, I feel like from an early age, being from Gainesville, I went to school with, more white kids than black kids. Yeah, I was on the richer side of town, as they say. And so I went to, safety patrol, all that. I went to Wilds Elementary from 3rd to 5th grade. So I transferred from the black school to go to the predominantly white school. And, it was just, it was pretty normal.
Yeah. So you prepared for it. And I guess another thing was just not having, you don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So for me, going off at that point in time, at an early age of life, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Besides play ball. So my mindset, the things that I wanted to do had nothing to do with a corporate setting. I didn't want to do business. I did want to, those type of things that FAM actually prepared you for. And you can see, it's like seeing the different sides, just being on different sides of town. It's really on just separate sides of the campus. Right. You could tell the students in SBI versus the kids in VO Perry, criminal justice side, business side. So it's like, but you could see it. And it was just the things that the people that you interacted with. And I never went outside my norm because that's what I was used to. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's game. So and I share that story as well. Even being on the PWI, I stayed around athletes. I didn't, go off and talk to other kids in other departments. You never know who was on them campuses. The next Elon Musk, the next whoever, to be famous are on those campuses. We just don't spread our wings. So anybody looking at it, if you want a college campus, definitely make sure you're going out networking. Networking is the biggest thing you ever can do. It's about your relationships. But kind of going back on the field, so I kind of want to get your experience. What was the biggest difference in the transition from high school to the game of college football? What was the biggest difference?
People getting bigger.
Yeah.
I feel like, football, it's the same everywhere you go.
Yeah.
It's just people use different means of getting to what they really want to do. Everything pretty much the same, but it's just people get bigger, stronger, faster. That's pretty much it.
What game would you give? So for the high school, we just got excited that they just passed. For the high school seniors that are about to embark and go to college and play college football, what game would you give them as they go off?
I would say, high school, I feel like, athleticism can get you through high school, I feel like that next step is working on your mental, working on your intelligence, working on your IQ of the game. I feel like that's what separates you, because when you get to that next level, everybody athletic, everybody's strong, everybody's fast. The person who can make the decisions the fastest and decipher what's going on the fastest is really gonna stand out.
And don't leave out the emotional intelligence side of it. And that's the thing that we see in our community. You as a coach, you coach on a high school team right now, so I know you see what a lot of the younger kids they flip their top, so to speak. A reminder of the TBR trainer, they like this. They minds be just they don't know how to handle those emotions when things don't go their way. And so when you get in college, these are the type of situations that you're going to be dealt with, and if you can't control that now, when you get to that level, it's going to be similar. And now you're going to see yourself off the field. The coaches are going to dismiss you, or you just going to leave anyway because you can't handle that type of environment, that type of stress that may come with it.
Yeah, you definitely got to be headstrong. Right? I know Jai, on his pod, he was saying, it's a business to it. It's real political. It's not always going to go your way, but you going down in the dumps and being hard on yourself is not going to get you to where you want to be. You got to be very transparent. You got to be real self-reflective up there, and you just got to chip away at it every day, pretty much.
So were you ever in a starting position, and so you were starting, and then you made a bad play, or you got bombed, and then the next game they took you from being a starting player to now you on the bench?
Yeah, I actually got injured my sophomore year. I had a AC sprain. I wanted to go bad, but I couldn't even lift my arm up. And I went from being a starter to when I came back, it was like, I was kind of brushed to the side. I had to go in a dime package, but it was just like, I've been bombed before. I played DB though. I gotta have the quickest. I have to let go stuff real fast.
Right.
I can't really sit there and pity pat about it, or I'm gonna get bombed again. So yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I was just gonna say just that, and that's the part. Those experiences. Like you say, you got to be able to let that go and move on with life. As a player, that's what you as a DB. I mean, those are certain. I fumble. One thing that Coach Collins always said: people in the NFL fumble, and even though I wanted to hold on to it, that was still a life lesson later on in life. I mean, as I got older, I make mistakes still today as a man, as a father. I still make mistakes, but those type of things I still remember. Okay, well, I made a bad decision. I made a bad mistake. I made a bad decision. All right, what's next? And that football prepares you for later on in life.
And speaking to the political game, I kind of want to hear yours. I kind of want you to think about, I'm going to share mine, but I kind of want you to think about when you had to deal with a political situation up there where it kind of, put you in a little frenzy. So for myself, when I was up at school, I dealt with a coaching shift. So the coach that recruited me to leave, he left. He went to Boston College and we brought a new coach in. So again, that's already political game, because now the person that brought you here, he left. Now somebody else, what he's going to do? He's going to bring his own people.
Right.
Never forget, my sophomore year, the head coach that came in, there were obviously it's already running backs on the roster, but he had a running back that he was bringing in. A freshman running back during the summer, he's not even enrolled in school yet, but he's coming. He's working out in our weight room. He's on campus. He's working out in the weight room. He's showing up. Sometimes he would leave like high school. He would come early in the morning, come over there, then go back to high school. Already the political plays, see what they're setting him up. Summertime come before him to get in. They released the depth charts. We just got out of, we're going into camp. Or, we just got out of summer workouts. Before you go home to go to camp. He posted the roster for going into camp. The running back that never stepped foot on campus, never the snap, never took a class, never did anything. He just worked out in the weight room. He had him as number 2 on the depth chart and say, one of y'all got to get that one spot. But he number 2, he playing. He never showed or did anything. That's the type of political games college football is. So when you're the young athlete sitting at home, you really want to jump in this game, you got to be ready for whatever it come with. And I want you to kind of share, a moment of your experience with me that just shows what you're up against when you jump into this game.
Yeah, well, like I said, my freshman year, we would split reps. I ended the year like 5th on the team in tackles. But it came down to a stretch where, the big games, the conference championship, the HBCU national championship, where I didn't really play. And my exit meetings, they were saying like, oh yeah, we were trying to get so-and-so to the league. That's why your reps got cut. That was the big thing for me. Other than that, it was just little stuff. The biggest thing I seen from Alcorn was, my roommate was a quarterback named Gyron too. And, Gyron Russell, he just went crazy at Edward Waters, quarterback, but he was next in line to be the quarterback at Alcorn. And, they brought in another guy and, they said, yeah, y'all gonna compete for the 2 spot. And he just took that as, that's a slap in the face, for sure. But that's little things that they do, that with the portal nowadays, and man, if you come from Bama and you try to transfer to Alcorn, you're gonna be a starter immediately.
No question.
And no matter, even if you didn't play a single snap at Alabama, just off of that namesake alone, you don't really gotta prove yourself. That's how the political thing is for me. You bring guys from high school who you gotta work out, we gotta prove ourselves day in and day out, but then you get these guys from the portal who can just jump you without even doing anything.
It's a dangerous game, So, and the young athletes, they just got to think about that. And I don't think nobody really, again, when you posting that, I got this off, you don't think about the downside that come to when you stepping on these campuses. And I think they need to do education. Before you get on campus, you should have a class about what you're about to go up against. But I want to ask you if you can go back. If you go back to the KJ leaving North Marion, going up there, what would you change? What would you change about your experience? Or just what would you do differently? Let me say that.
I think, that's hard to say. I think, for the most part, I think I did things right. I don't really regret much of my time there. Honestly, I think that, going into my senior year, the coach who had recruited me from North Marion had left. And, I think that I actually had the opportunity to go play at Florida. They were looking at me to transfer, but, I think that was my biggest thing. I think that I needed to expand my wings and go somewhere else at the end of my career at Alcorn to, hindsight, when the pros come calling, they say that the level that I play at is inferior. So I feel like I needed to get away and go play at a G5 or a P5 to show that I can compete at that level. And that's probably my biggest, so to say, regret about going to school up there.
So you say you had a look at Florida? And why didn't you jump on that? What happened with that?
Dan Mullen got fired.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, Willie McGriff was the EB coach, and he ended up going to Arbor, and I didn't fit their needs, so I stuck it out.
Yeah, I understand that. Would you about to ask something? I was about to encourage that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, I'm about to say, why you jump on that? And so you do get caught in that. So even when I played, I think I stayed at my school. It's a loyalty you build, bro. And it come from your mores, it come from who you are.
Right.
We were built on that. You were built on being loyal, on having morals. So to a default, you jump into a game that you think is going to have the same love to you, and it doesn't. You get what I'm saying? And you have to learn it the hard way, because it's like, dang, on blood, sweat, and tears, and this is how you treat me. Well, my boy Denzel said, hey, y'all gonna do this to me? Real talk, though, but you don't learn that. So if we were able, it don't matter how much they say it's a business. Bro, you're waking up every day, going here, doing the same thing around the same people every day, Like y'all build a level of love, a level of family, and all that together. And it's hard for you to see yourself not in that environment, especially when you came in, you grew, you became boys to men with the people that you with. You feel a level of disloyalty leaving them, and even the coach. Like I said, bro, the way my college coach left, bro, it hit ESPN before we knew. We had the max test. We had a max test, and we would say, we already felt some inconsistency going on. ESPN out. You know, Coach Steven Dodger was going to Boston College. Then we get an instant on the little text. Mandatory meeting now. Everybody get here. We got there, literally what he did. He walked in, I'm leaving, and walked back out. I swear to God, that's how it went. This is the same man that came to my house, came to Old Cali, Florida, sat on my mama's couch, and told me what he was going to do for us.
What's up, family? Man, have you liked, subscribed, or commented yet?
Takes 2 seconds. Commenting also is a great way to help us refine what we do here.
You family, right? We need you. Come on, man. Like, subscribe, and comment. Peace.
How does that happen, bro? You get what I'm saying? That's the loyalty, bro. You get what I'm saying?
It's quick. It's, you know, and they jump on you if you try to go off, but you know, it's not the same when coaches go run for a better opportunity.
Yeah, it's a dirty game. But we here now. So transitioning. So you left Alcorn. You had Alcorn. I said it right. That's Alcorn. You had a good career. Then you got so as of lately, I'm pretty sure you did the pro day route and all those different things. I did do pro day route. It didn't work. My pro day didn't work out. I actually it rained my pro day. I had a terrible pro day. It rained out there. It was just a terrible environment. How was when it came to getting to the league? How was that from when you left there? What happened? What went into you not getting that chance?
Well, I played in, you know, after Alcorn, I played in some bowl games. You know, they got the HBCU Legacy Bowl nowadays. I played at CGS and I played in the FCS Bowl in Daytona. And then I went on the train in Houston. And then the thing about my HBCU is we have to share a pro day with Jackson State. So, you know, at that time, Jackson State wasn't, you know, so we pretty much like the ugly stepchild at the event. You know, they just want to see the Jackson State kids, right? You know. And Jackson State got their guys at the end of the 40s with their stopwatches like 4-3. So y'all got 4-3. Now everybody, you know,
yeah. But
you know, it's like that's political there for sure. Political in a sense, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. And I know so I know that didn't work out, but you did get an opportunity later on with the Orlando Predators. It was an Guard. Sorry, I keep messing up everybody. I'm sorry, y'all. But so you got a chance with them. I seen you, obviously I'm familiar with you, so Facebook, posting the pictures, doing all this. Ever read an article, you cried, you know, you got the call, you cried, and the whole dream come true. You know what I'm saying? We want to play professional sports, and your dream is becoming a reality. And the XFL, that's a big deal because it's literally a leap to where you want to go. You understand, if I go here and kill it, I just got it. I'm right where I want to be. I'm right back in the game. All right. So as of late, and I just came to my awareness, that opportunity got taken away from you. And so just talk about that. What went on with that XFL experience that you were gifted, that came to you? What happened with that?
Well, you know, I didn't have an agent coming out of school. You know, I didn't have nobody representing for me and pushing my stuff out. I just so happened to send my stuff to Lorente McCray from Danella. And he got my tape in the hands of Tony Carter. Tony Carter played DB at FSU. He was the DC for the Guardians at the time. And, you know, they was like, man, we like him. And, you know, I ended up I was the 4th pick out of their 10 picks in the college dispersal draft. You know, I'm going in front of guys, go to Kentucky, you know, places like that. And, you know, so that was a blessing in itself. And, you know, then it got real cloudy, you know. You hearing the rumors about the merger and the teams with the lowest attendance and revenue are going to get cut. And you get to hearing stuff about, the Guardians might not make the merger. But, you know, I'm not hearing nothing from the team itself. You know, the staff not saying nothing. So you're kind of just in the dark, you know. And then it came out and, you know, they send us a good luck. We going to vouch for you if you need us. Yeah. Good luck. And, you know, that is what it is. You know, still grinding every day. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to stay motivated to get up and work, but that's something else in its own itself.
Yeah, I like what you say. So first of all, let me stick on that. So was there any package that they gave you, like, we not with you no more, Cyrus package, like, all right, here you go? Would you do it? Did Did it guarantee you anything out of this deal, or?
You know, I signed a contract or a letter of intent to be on that roster going into camp, and then, 3 weeks later, it was no more team, so that letter of intent was out the window.
What did you learn from that situation that can be taught to the youngest athletes that want to go to the to college to play, ball and stuff?
Right. Pretty much it's like everybody gonna keep telling you it's a business. At the end of the day, what works for them, what's gonna make the XFL, which is now the UFL, the most money. And it was, merging the leagues and cutting off the teams that didn't make that much money, And I feel like you can't put all your eggs in one basket, you gotta have, sad to say, you gotta have a backup plan, Even though like people try to say, don't have no plan B because, plan A gonna work. You gotta put your all in the plan A to work.
Yeah.
You gotta have a plan B realistically, And
Realistically, you do. And it's funny, I had this conversation. So every athlete that I played ball with that went to the league, they really ain't have no plan B. You get what I'm saying? Like, they lived that, bro. I had a roommate that literally cried. Like, he cried tears because we were joking around one day. And at that time, we were sorry. At Temple, we were talking. And one of the other dudes in the room, he was like, bro, you really think you going to the league? And he was so passionate. Like, bro, what you think? Like, tears came down his eyes. He went to the league. Drafted like 3rd round. Another time, I went to a smaller school, to FCS level. One of the young men we ended up having a conversation. Everybody talking about plan B's. What you gonna do? He looked around and said, "I'm going to the league. I ain't got no." He went to the league. You get what I'm saying? So at a level, I understand, like, because you gotta, in order to make it to those heights, you really gotta be like, you gotta be so iron focused. But it is crazy not to have a it's still crazy not to have a plan B, but I get it. So how you just stated that, I get the concept, though, of the people that say, no, bro, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody stopping me from getting there. But one thing I did notice that you just said with the when we talked about them canceling the team, I think your word you use is cloudy. Some days get cloudier than others.
Yeah.
All right. So we talk about mental health stuff a lot and focuses. So we deal with young people and we understand that your mental, you know what I mean, is very important. How you looking at yourself, how you doing things, and how you feel. Being able to get this opportunity from you can make you feel less than. Obviously, you had no control over it, but it can play a mental game on you. How do you feel about, like, how are you right now currently? You know what I mean, with that whole deal taking place.
I kind of had a complacent moment where I felt like, I got drafted by this team. A lot of guys don't get drafted by that little teams. They get picked up in free agency. I got drafted. I felt like I was a 1%er a couple of times. Like, man, maybe somebody should pick me up. Like, but it always don't work like that. And, it's not really about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmys and Joes and who you know, for sure. And it's unfortunate, but just gotta stay positive. Gotta stay, like I said, cloudy. Sunny days wouldn't be special without the rain. That's something I live by. Just gotta keep chopping wood and carrying water and keep going at it every day. Yeah, but eventually, the work will pay off.
Blue collar answer. Yeah. But nah. So with that being said, so you did touch on it. I get that. That's how you feel, and that's how you're gonna go about it. But how do you really feel in the inside of core of you? When KJ goes home and he's in his room, what are the thoughts do you think about? What is going to through your mind? Are you like, bro, what am I gonna do now? Like, where am I at? What's my next move? Because I know how that feels. Like, I know what football leaves you, and you have to think about what am I gonna do next? Like, I literally had it was a whole bunch of trials and error to get to where I'm at today. So I understand being at the age you are and really not knowing and being afraid of the not knowing. So really how you feel?
Definitely. Like I said, it's hard to stay motivated in this space. It's hard to say like, oh, I'm gonna get up and run and go work on myself when the future is so uncertain. But like you were saying about the plan A, plan B. If I had to talk with my roommate the other day from Alcorn, who's played quarterback or whatever, and he was saying like, I got some IFL offers, some indoor football league offers, and if I really wanted to play professionally, like I can go to IFL, kill the IFL, and the IFL is pretty much a G League for the XFL nowadays. So if I really wanted to keep playing football, that would be my avenue probably. Mm-hmm. But then again, I got that burden back in my head saying, man, you're too good to play in the indoor football league. That would be a waste. But if my ultimate goal was just to play in the league or go play pro somewhere in a 3-letter league, like I can do that and and go take that step. But it's all about, is that what I want to do? But there's so much uncertainty and doubt that has like, it done got into me. I can't lie, it done got me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't really know. Like maybe I should just hang it up, you know. But you know, that's just a battle I go through every day, you know. So
pray to God, bro. One thing about it, so don't nobody know the answer but you. Obviously you and God, there's no right or wrong answer at the end of the day. Like if you have a passion to play football, then go play football. But I was one of them people, the same thing, like I feel that's, and I do think some people don't know when to stop. Some people don't know when to hang it up. You got people playing semi-pro and doing all these crazy things, tearing their body up when you can serve in another facet. Like I get the same adrenaline and feel and rush I do doing what I do today that I got when I was running out in the tunnels. And you can't see that now because that's what you're focused on, but there's something else out there for you. And I don't know if you like, again, we just keep talking about the plan A, play B, but I don't know if you think about like, who is KJ without football? You know what I mean? But those are the conversations you got to ask. And even like your interests, your hobbies, and start balancing. That doesn't mean you're not locked into football. That just means you're smart. There's a part. So even when I played football, it was a certain part of my career. Freshman, sophomore year, I ain't thinking about nothing else. Junior year, things ain't really going on. Like I'm starting to like get serious about these books a little bit. You know what I mean? Get this business degree because I may have to fall back on this. But so you got to understand it. You got to be able to weigh that scale. All right, I had this predicament got took away. You had nothing you could do about that. So now you're in your current situation. You have to assess this situation for what it is. So it's like I may need to interest like what else I can do. Like if this don't jump off the day, where would I go? You know what I mean? Who do I see myself as? And start answering questions. We do a lot of self-discovery work. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever heard of a SWOT analysis before. Strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. Even do a SWOT analysis for yourself. You know what I mean? These are the strengths. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm weak at. Opportunities, threat type of thing. And just start really figuring out who you are at your core. And that's going to help you out the most. You know what I mean?
He said Jimmy said some real good things, man. As far as definitely first off praying. I mean, right. I'm pretty sure you do, but we all share the same. We ask God, like, all right, God, what you want from me? You know what I'm saying? Because you the fact that you're uncertain is not a bad thing, but okay, you can't ask us, well, hey, Eddie, Jamie, Miles, what should I do? Hey, we gonna tell you something, what we think is best for you. But when you take that before God, then He's gonna be able to lead you in the direction that you want to go. Now I say that to say there are times that we have these conversations amongst ourselves. Yesterday with our mentor, Rory Carter, man, we always talk about working in your passion, like Jamie just said. When you take that step into what really drives you, other than football, of course, that's, Miles was in the military, but man, with football, that was our passion. But now we literally wake up, I promise you, brother, people still ask us to this day, how do you do it? It's just the passion that drives, that it alleviates all the uncertainty, it alleviates all the negative thoughts. Like we just really get up and we enjoy what we do. So I had to ask God, like I got to a point in my life where it was like I didn't know, I wasn't sure, so I had to ask Him. Even with a degree, I still was unsure with a degree. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you just again ask God and just ask Him to direct your path. For sure.
Cool. Oh, you about to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the biggest thing is that sometimes we get so caught up in the profession or the environment that's meant to cultivate us truly, who we are in our core. We get caught up in that phase of our life thinking that that's our forever. I was the same way with the military. When I got in, I was good at what I did. I loved what the Army stood for. So I saw myself being there until I retired. But life had different, plans for me. And because of the injury, that career was pulled away from me. But what I came to understand was that, the parts of me that made me good in the military was still there. So I just see it as like changing clothes almost. Me as Miles McConaughey still remains, even if I change this hoodie or this shirt. So, football sometimes is our outfit of the day. You know what I mean? But you still are who you are. So you were thriving in football because that was already a part of you. It may have helped bring it out more, but when you understand that those talents, that mentality, that drive, that ambition is still in you, and you understand that truly, that you can have that outside of that outfit, then it just broadens your entire perspective of life, because now you say, well, dang, I can really go out here and do anything, really, you know. And then when you start testing those waters, getting involved in different things, then you will truly see what I'm telling you. And then, you know, you may find your new passion out there, where you actually supposed to be at in life. And I get with the whole plan A, plan B thing. It you know, it is true. Sometimes people say, well, you know, if you have a plan B, you plan to fail. But I don't really subscribe to that, because it's just reality. Not everybody can make it to the league. We know this. Not everybody can sit there and do certain things. We know this. I will say, in our community, too often, we don't teach our kids to have a plan B, because we do go with that line of rhetoric. But as we see, you know, especially online work, and even just amongst some of our peers that, you know, from our generation, you know, you see the effects of people not having a plan B and how they end up in some bad situations. So, you know, that would be my wisdom. You know, don't get caught up in that phase being over. You know, just see it as now, okay, I gotta take that outfit off, but I still am who I am, you know, regardless of, and you will find that success, I promise.
I gotta ask you this. So we talked about the thing and how you felt, but who do you go to? So in these times, and we had conversation with other guys about this, but who do, like, in these times when we talk the cloudy days, because again, you just told me you were quiet to yourself person. So that can easily be, I deal with my stuff by myself. Who are you talking to about these things? Are you really communicating? You say you're playing a game with your fellas. Are you really communicating how you feel? Or you just giving it, you know, everything good, I figure it out? Are you like, bro, man, today one of them days, I ain't feeling it? How you go about that?
Yeah, I think, you know, me and my dad have pretty good conversations. You know, a lot of times, you know, it don't get to the point where I'm telling him, like, man, like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna hang it up. Like, it never really get there. You know, he always giving good wisdom about, like, stand up and just, you know, it's the little things, like being meticulous with what you do, like when you wake up and, you know, to set out and plan out your day, and, you know, doing things like that kind of like take my mind away from the uncertainty and the doubt.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's sad to say that sometimes it is like swept under the rug for me. You know, it's just like shoot, brush it off, keep going.
Yeah.
You know, whatever happens, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the worst things I ever did in my life. And I had that attitude. It is what it is attitude. So when I was going through my experience, that's what kept me there so long, because I was like, I had no control. I was like, it is what it is. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. And I kept the attitude flow on, and it just kept me there. It kept me in that, basically dealing with something I could have loved. It really ain't. It is what it is. This your life. That was my life at that time. So when you approach someone that is what it is attitude, you basically saying, just have your way. Like, my life is in somebody else's control. It's like, nah, you got to take control of your life, bro. You know what I mean? So it is, you know, you have control in this situation, because at the end of the day, one thing you have to know, it doesn't matter, no matter what you do, you're going to find a way to be successful. Like he said, the attributes that you in the game, they transfer off the field. I promise you, because that's why I'm wired the way I am. And most people aren't, because the game of football. So I built up so many skills that I bring into the professional world that people are like, it's like, bro, I've been doing this. I've been up at 5 a.m. all my life. So now that I wake up 5 a.m. now, it's not a surprise. I've been doing that. You know what I mean? I work out every morning. I've been doing that. That's who I am. So who you are transfers. You just got to see yourself. And then once you're able to see that you can take advantage of this work, most successful people in business probably were former athletes. You know what I mean? And when it comes to people trying to employers looking for employers looking for employees, they look for athletes, because they understand the structure that you have. And that's all the world is about. It's just being a structured individual. So you got it in you, man. So like I say, you know, you just got to. So it's really about, and not like forcing you to make a decision. And I'm going to talk to you too before we leave about some things too. But whatever you want to do, bro, is at your disposal. Like you say, you grounded, man. Like you say, you come from a good situation, good family. You know, right for wrong, structure and all that. And the same skills that you learned in the game, you could take them off the field. Yeah. So if you decide to hang the cleats, like this is me, and I played at a high level, I'm so happy that I gave it up. And people ask you miss football? I don't. I really don't miss football, bro. Like, I did what I did, and now it's over. Everything ends. As I said, it's an inspiration day. You get what I'm saying? So it was over. But just come to grips with that, and like you said with your pops, go there, bro. And I ain't feeling it. If it's your homeboy, whoever you feel close with, if you have a lady, however that is, today one of them days, and I'm feeling bad. Like, I really, cause it's sad, bro. You been playing this game since you was, you know what I mean? So you go get down, but making sure you communicate about it. All right. But anything on that before I'm about to change the gears. I don't know if y'all.
biggest thing is just don't. I know it can be tough, but you have to see this situation that you're not a failure. You know, and that's just something that you gotta be real with yourself about. Some things are just simply out of your control. You know, when it comes to that, but like it's cliche to say, but it's how you handle it. You know, again, when I got injured, you know, one of the first things that came to my head was like, oh well, you know, I failed. You know, I messed up. But how could I fail? There was nothing else I could have done. You know, I was already doing the things I was supposed to. You know, I was working out extra, eating right, doing all the things I was supposed to do, and it still happened. And so I had to come to a realization that, you know, sometimes we put ourselves on this path in life because we're good at certain things, but sometimes God needs to sit down. And if he doesn't make us sit down, we won't. Like, we gotta be real. Because if that injury didn't sit me down, I'll still be out there somewhere. Truth be told, I wouldn't be here right now. So, but for me to be made to sit down because of something, and then looking at the life I have now, I wouldn't go back and trade it. I respect my time in other service. I miss some of the aspects of the military, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't change the thing about where I am now, because I see, you know, hindsight 2020. You know, I can look back and be like, man, if I gave all this up right now to go back, would I be happy? To an extent. To an extent, I would still be happy, but I wouldn't be like I am now, feeling fulfilled.
Are you happy? When I ask you that question, like, when you right now, your current state, are you happy?
I'm doing good.
You good? Yeah. What that mean? What doing good?
I'm taking it a day at a time, step by step.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty even keel as a person anyways.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never too low, never too high. I'm always on a good center ground. So I feel like that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And reason I asked you that question again, he ended with the happiness. It comes from within, bro. You get what I'm saying? So, like, whatever you're going, your happiness comes within. The situation don't determine how you feel. You can be happy in the midst of adversity. You get what I'm saying? You still can be happy. But one thing I want to do, I want to kind of go back as we graze over. So we went back, you know, North Marion, you know, we talked about Coach O, we talked about Coach Kenyon. You had a good plethora of coaches. One thing I didn't touch on, I didn't touch on your coaches at Alcorn. I want to ask you the question as we kind of wrapping up. Do you feel, because you again, as we get on, you go to YouTube, put Hitman, KJ Kinsler Jr. in there and see what come up. You can see what this young man did. Do you feel the school put into you what you put into the school?
You know, I'm pretty sure most athletes can say that the school didn't really, you know, look out for them. You know, you go, that's a 9 to 5, you know. And then plus I'm putting my body on the line for my school, you know, in these games, and I don't really feel like the energy was reciprocated, you know. You know, I did real wrong in my pro day, and, you know, nobody voiced that from our staff. Nobody said nothing about that. But that's like you said, that's the business about it, you know. It's about what you can do for them now. You know, they don't really, after you go, they don't really care for you. Man. It's sad to say, but, you know, I got a few coaches who still reach out and whatnot, and I'm real appreciative of them. But, you know, as a wholesale, I don't feel like, you know, Alcorn really just gave me what I gave them. You know, I tell my boys all the time, if I make it to Monday Night Football, I'm going to say, KJ Kinsler, Dean North Marion High School.
Yeah.
And that is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So now that's funny. I asked that question because it'd be the same experience that be going on, man. Even with Temple, what I gave to them, I left on I didn't do you wrong. Y'all did me wrong. And I left. They wouldn't even let me get hold of my film. You know what I mean? I couldn't get none of my film to be able to sit in the schools and stuff like that. But they had that authority to put their foot on your neck like that. Okay. And so it's a dirty game, man. But this was a great conversation, man. Even to what you're saying, I think it's educational, man. So when we having these conversations, it's educational because you're able to learn from people that actually went out and did it. We come from a community that most people want to do what we done. You know what I mean? Most kids, we sit in front of kids daily. They don't even play sports. They never played on a sports team, a real team. And if you ask them what they want to do, they say they're going to go to the league. Our brains have been wired to believe that's what we're supposed to be doing.
That's the only avenue.
That's the only avenue. You get what I'm saying? So we've been tricked, bamboozled. For real, we've been bamboozled to feel like that's all we can do. And then we get to a point like this, all right? And so it's like, now what? What people are reaching out to you, making sure you're good? What people are here for you? I'm pretty sure there are people that would call your phone and all that when you was doing on TV, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But that's what we do. So we send our babies off, our kids off, and with these high dreams. But then when they get to this point, it's like, well, figure it out on your own, brother. Yeah. And that's where the destructions come. So I'm gonna tell you this: you got two things you're gonna do in this moment. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. You get what I'm saying? So you're gonna let this moment destroy you, or you're gonna swim and go do whatever you got to do. Most kids crumble. Most kids don't even get to where you're at. First of all, let's do that. So congratulations, you graduated college. You're at a great spot in your life. But a lot of young men crumble in the face of adversity because they feel like this is all they got, and when they get took away from them, now they in the streets. Now they selling drugs. Now they doing something they ain't supposed to be doing. But you had an opportunity to prove the statistics wrong and go do something great, which I know you will. And you coaching now, so I want to we can end on that. Talk about your coaching. What makes you be out there coaching now? Where does that love come from? Why are you coaching right now?
I'm not gonna say that I felt like I wanted to be a coach. You know, I don't feel like coaching. I don't think that was gonna be my, you know. But I'm grateful for it. It taught me a lot of patience. Because what I seem to think is cookie cutter, you know, straightforward is not straightforward to them. Yeah. You know, it's a blessing though. But I don't really see I didn't see myself coaching. But you know, like I said, I wanted to give back. Like I wish the people before me would have gave back. You know, so I go to the 707s. I'm just there, like just showing love because I wish that was given to me. You know, pretty much the same thing with Jadam. You know, I was watching the state game in the locker room before practice, full geared up. Like I'm trying to be one of the last people out there. I'm watching the state game. Like them my guys and my boys. You know, we shoot the guys now. You know, I'm pretty much a mentor. I wouldn't even say I'm a coach. I don't even let them call me Coach Kinsler or nothing like that. You know, it was KJ. Like I was in your shoes. I walked these same halls. You know, I was on that team that was super young and you know. Everybody abandoning ship and stuff like that, but you know, I'm just trying to be the light in their life to like, man, you can make it. Like, you're good. Like, don't worry about the outside world. Don't worry about what other people getting, what's on their plate, what offers they got. Man, it's all about the work you put in for yourself. You know, and I just want to be a good role model for them. That's why
That's a blessing, bro. Like, it's crazy, and I'm sure people ask us how we do what we do or why we do what we do, bro. Everything that you just said, everything that you just expressed, bro. To see, and I know you relate the relationships, all of that. There are people that wish they can do the things that we do, and I ain't saying that in a disrespectful way, but it's just a natural connection that other people, certain people, not just certain, but there are people that can't do what we do, and in the world that we live in today, we have to be able to connect to these young boys, so to speak, because if we don't, you got to think about all the students, the men that you coach, the little boys that you coach. Their fathers may not be on, their home structure may not be there, but if you connect with just one of them, you can be saving a life. That's a big blessing. So keep that in mind.
Nah, that's good stuff, man. But man, we appreciate you, dog. We appreciate you for joining us, man, giving this game. One thing about, you know, this setting, when we created the EL2A podcast, Exposure Leads to Access, it was about this. This is for us to have conversations with real people and to get a real game, man, because there's people that are going to tune into this and be like, dang, I'm here already dealing with this, or I'm about to deal with this, and now I can maneuver a little different because of you. And there's some Jai is about to be in your situation in a little bit. Either he's going to go or not, and he may have to think, you know, so people can hear and already be prepared for what's to come. So I appreciate you for taking time, and man, proud of you, bro. Like I say, man, you know, it's just the world is in your hand. It matter what you do. Put the ball down or you keep whatever. You know what I mean? But you only can, you know, make that decision with the help of God. So before I close off, any of y'all boys want any last remarks?
Good shot, bro.
All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna spin it to you. So well, first of all, hey, if you haven't already, man, smash that like button. All right, you gotta like, subscribe, and comment. All right, we had this great conversation with KJ here, Mr. Hitman. Please leave some feedback, respond, like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure you do that now. All right, and last but not least, with this Black History Shirt Month, the link will be in the description. All right, you click the link, go cop one of these shirts. Don't miss out. Limited edition, man, and they running out right now. So you better make sure you get one before they gone. All right, appreciate y'all. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Spin it to you to close off. All right. So again, your trajectory, man, in your store is you have a beautiful store. But there's some other people out there that they're going through their story. Their story just started. And when they listen to this, they're going to want to hear, okay, some encouragement on their journey right now. And I want you to end this with some encouragement to our viewers, and, you know, specifically to young athletes. If you can give them some encouragement to close us out, you can look right there in that camera and give them encouragement.
Yeah, like I said earlier, you know, sunny days wouldn't be special without the rain. You know, life a marathon, it's not a sprint. You know, you got to take it a day at a time. You know, I got tatted on my thigh, man, no risk, no story, you know. And you got to take some risks to get where you want to be, you know. And all risks don't work out. You know, it's a gamble. You know, you just got to play it true. You can't complain about the cards you dealt. You just got to make do with what you got. You know.
It's game right there. All right, fam. We'll see y'all next week.